Sweet. 2-0 going into this league. It's a new day, an awesome day. The sun is out. It's beautiful. I haven't actually started working yet. I just had breakfast with my wife, which was great. I'm drinking some more coffee, and I'm getting my day started with Magic. I'm going to play one round with you guys. That's going to be number 3 in this league, and then I'm going to jam on some work and be productive, and then maybe I'll ride a bike or go for a swim, and it's going to be totally awesome. So let's do the Magic thing. If you haven't seen the first video, check the playlist for a link, or check the description of the video for a link to the playlist and go check out the first video. I'll jump over to it really quick. This is what we're playing. It's sort of a trying to look at a theory of what I think makes the deck good. I'm not saying that all these cards are definite, but really just trying to remove the electrolyzes, try to take some of the clunkier spells out of the deck and focus on doing things like turn 1, bolt your thing, turn 2, leak, play Geist onto an empty board, or just have more efficient removal so that we can cast multiple spells a turn, so that once we land a Geist, we can like bolt and path and hold up leak, or activate Grim Lavamancer, cast a Serum Visions, hold up Leak of Remand, something like that. We'll see how it's working. We'll see how it works out. For any of you guys watching, I would love for, I don't always go back and watch my videos, but I would love for your input on, hey, this is where the concept of the deck worked out. This is where it didn't. Any feedback you guys want to give. Okay, so let's play first. I think this hand it's very reactive. But I think it's fine. I think we're just actually going to lead on Sulphur Falls, because then we can play Iganjo Castle and have a Path and Bolt. I don't really like pathing on turn 1 anyway, even against Burn if I can help it. So if he goes Goblin Guide and attacks us, that's fine, because we'll still be able to clear out the Guide and another creature. And then if he also just plays like a Wild Nacatl or something, we can go Helix if we so desire. Okay, so it looks like we're going to be playing against Ad Nauseam, which isn't a great matchup, but we have more counter magic in this deck than we have in the past. So let's see here. I think that our plan is not to really care too much about our life total. I'm just trying to think what is going to give us the most damage over time. Because I can go Snapcaster Mage here, get in for 2, or I can go Bolt end of turn. Normally I'm kind of a fan of just running out the Snapcaster Mage first and not worrying about the value from Bolt. But if I Bolt end of turn and then Snap Bolt next turn, yeah, let's just do that. Because I don't have another threat. We were on the play. Okay, so now he's suspended a Lotus Bloom, so there's a chance we'll draw a path or maybe a counter spell, and we can counter his not Phyrexian Unlife, but the other one. I'm gonna play the Tarn just so I can get an island at the end of turn and thin. I don't think that the thinning really does a lot, but it does something. See why we don't have a counter spell, because if he plays here the enchantment, I would love to kill it. Yeah, so let's just get the island, flashback the Bolt, and this attack our opponent down to 12 on the next turn. So here we can, let's see. Here we could just Helix and attack and then Snap Helix. So if we Helix here, that puts our opponent to 9. Our attack from the Snapcaster Mage puts our opponent to 7. And then we're just not going to have the time. And then Snapcaster Mage, Helix puts our opponent to 6, and then an attack from 2 snaps would be put him to 2, which it's close. But if we just do this, if we just put him to 9 and then attack to 4, he goes to 5. And then another attack from our snaps is not lethal. So either way, I guess it's the same amount of time, right? Because basically we're gonna take a turn right now. If we go Snap and Helix, then we're gonna take a turn. We're gonna go to 9, or he's gonna go to 9, and we're gonna attack him with 2 Snapcaster Mages to 5. So that's one turn he's at 5. The next turn he goes to 1, assuming we don't draw burn, and then the next turn he's dead. So that's 3 more attacks. If we just go Helix, he goes to 9. We attack him with a Snapcaster Mage to 7, so that's 1 attack. Let's see. Then at the end of his next turn, we'll go Snap Helix, which would put him to 4, and then he's dead. Because I don't think I counted that right. But it sounds better. Counting's hard. So we can technically fire this Visions off as well. Yeah, so I guess this is faster. Because let's see. If we live, then next turn is a lethal attack. So yeah, I have the mana to do this. But I don't think we're living. I mean, Mana Leak actually is totally great. Probably not good enough, but it is something. No, it's definitely not going to be good enough with how much mana he has. But we drew it, so we'll keep it. And I think we'll just bottom this and bottom this because we have enough like ways to kill our opponent. Sorry, I've had like this bit of chest congestion. So the other kind of sad thing here is that in order for us to kill our opponent next turn, we have to go Snapcaster Mage Helix, which puts him at 4, and then he's dead, but he can just go off at instant speed. If we opt to just hold up this Mana Leak, which again I don't think is doing much, well, I guess it is. Let's see. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Angel's Grace, does it cost 1 or 2? If it costs 1, then if it costs 2, I think we can go for it. I was just checking the notes. Angel's Grace. Yeah, okay, no, it costs 1, so our opponent can use this white mana to go Angel's Grace and then go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Ad Nauseam, and we're dead. If they cast another, they could also have Simian Spirit Guide and go like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Simian Spirit Guide. Even if they tap another source here, like if they tap this one, and then they'd have 3 other Simian Spirit Guides in their deck, so they could cast Lightning Storm. But we're not winning this game by sitting on this Mana Leak, unfortunately. So I feel somewhat inclined to. This is a really long. Let's see what our opponent does. Spend more mana. Do something. Do something. Okay, that's probably going to be it then. The long pause makes me think he's really like thinking about going for it. So I think we just go for the snap. And the reason is if he has Angel's Grace and Ad Nauseam, we're likely dead anyway. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If he plays another, what did he do with this scry? Let's take a look. How do I bring it? Where's the chat at? So he bottom topped. That makes me feel a little bit more like I just want to go for it. Here's the thing: if we go for it, so of his 6 cards, 1 would need to be Ad Nauseam, 1 would need to be Angel's Grace, and then he has 4 additional cards, and all he needs is a Pact of Negation. I'm going to just go for it and hope for the best. I don't know if that's right, but the thing is, like, if he plays another land next turn, even if he doesn't have a Pact of Negation, then this leak is dead anyway, and he's not dead. So I think we just go for it and hope we don't die. I think our opponent has it because he's super like he's just really like he's pausing and thinking a lot like, do I go for it, do I go for it, do I go for it? If this path was a bolt, obviously I would just hold up Mana Leak here, but we don't know what we're drawing. We bottomed the Angel and the land. That's interesting. Counter our Snapcaster Mage. So he probably has no intention of paying for that. If he's countering the Snap as opposed to just letting Snap resolve and seeing if I play Helix, that makes me think he doesn't have an Ad Nauseam in his hand. So I'm not gonna. I can't really fight over this. If I had a remand, I'd consider remanding my own Snapcaster Mage, but I don't. Internet Explorer. Don't ask me again. I don't even use that browser. Okay, so we'll just let that happen because there's not much we can do about it. See what we draw. Opponent has more things to do. Alright, well this seems a little odd to me. I will attempt to Mana Leak that. This seems to, like, I don't play Ad Nauseam, but this seems like weird sequencing to me. Like, I think the moment I play Snapcaster Mage, I'm giving you some information. The moment I play Snapcaster Mage, you're like, all right, I know there's no free counter spells outside of Pact of Negation, which the only decks that really run it are like Ad Nauseam. So let me see if my opponent goes for a Helix, and if he does, then I can do everything in response, and he can even just pact that. But it looks like our opponent was just going for an Ad Nauseam to find a Angel's Grace. That's a crappy draw. At least that's my guess. Kind of wish I kept the Restoration Angel now, but what are you going to do? So my opponent is just going to have to outright... So here's what I think was happening. Opponent casts Ad Nauseam. The reason he countered the Snapcaster Mage, now, like, if he didn't actually have an Angel's Grace, he wanted to keep his life total as high as he can. That way he could... yeah, he's just having to straight up pay for this. Do they run basics? Did I just punt by not Ghost Quartering one of his lands in response? I'm pretty sure that they do, but man, if they don't... Tilt. That's annoying. Let's just check. Ad Nauseam, Modern. Yeah, they run an island and a swamp, probably most of them. I'm guessing here. Yeah, okay, so there was no benefit to be gained there. Alright, well, if we draw a piece of burn, I think we're doing alright. Yeah, so basically what our opponent was trying to do is he didn't have an Angel's Grace. So by countering the Snapcaster Mage, he kept his life total as high as possible. That way he could see as many cards as he could with his Ad Nauseam. So he could add, pay a life, pay a life, pay a life, pay a life, draw like 6 cards, cast the Angel's Grace. I don't know if that works though. I guess he's just going to use Ad Nauseam to draw a bunch of cards, and because once he can't cast Angel's Grace until Ad Nauseam is done resolving. Maybe he thought he would hit like another Angel's Grace. I'm actually not really sure. I don't play that deck. Something was going on similar to that. So I guess our opponent's just going for like spoils to hope that he doesn't die, but I think he'll die. He's going to name, I don't know, Ad Nauseam or name Angel's Grace and hope that he flips over less than 3 cards. It seems pretty unlikely, but yeah, so he looks like he named Angel's Grace because that's where it stopped. Where's our chat window? Does it say? Yeah, okay, so we kind of got lucky there. The opponent just didn't have a great hand, which I think happens sometimes from when it comes to Ad Nauseam. Okay, so things that we can bring in. Obviously, we want to bring in these negates. We want to bring in the dispels. I want to bring in a Stoning Silence because in early Stoning Silence, if they have a draw that's really dependent on artifact mana, this is really great. Pithing Needle can actually name Lightning Storm, which isn't really great, and the reason is they generally run a, if they go off, they run like a what is it called? So a bounce spell. It's Echoing Truth, so that they can bounce the Pithing Needle. The one benefit of it, though, is it makes them have more mana, so that they need to have more mana to both Ad Nauseam and play an Echoing Truth. But the other thing is, if they don't have a silence, then like sometimes what they'll do is they'll cast silence and then go off, and then you just can't really do much. But there's also the chance that I think the main benefit is it just slows them down. I was about to say that you can fight over their Echoing Truth, but I think that you'd probably just fight over their Ad Nauseam. I'm just trying to remember. I had used some logic in the past. Maybe it was just all around cost. Maybe the logic for doing it was just that it slows them down because now they have to deal with more stuff in order to execute their plan. They also, of course, have the option to just draw their whole deck and win with Laboratory Maniac. All right, so we're going to bring this stuff in. Path to Exiles are completely horrendous. Grim Lavamancer seems really slow. Angel we could probably trim one Angel. She's kind of a clunky 4-drop, and we could probably trim a piece of Burn. Let's see. Maybe we don't want to trim the Angel in case we just end up in a position where we can like blink Vendilion Clique multiple times. Maybe we just... No, I think this is fine. I'm gonna give this a shot. See, Path doesn't do anything. Purge, no. Alright, let's try this. I mean, you can bring in explosives, and you can try to, like, if they don't have Ad Nauseam, you can set it to 0 to kill all of their Lotus Blooms, but I don't think that that's a super great plan. I don't know why. So this is another bug here. This keeps resetting over there every time. Alright, so this hand is not great in that it is slow. We don't have any interaction, but we have our best card in the matchup. We're on the draw, that's right. We have our best card in the matchup, and we have selection, so we're going to keep it and hope for the best. So what we really don't want to see is suspend Lotus Bloom. Okay, Remain's a start. It's not fantastic, but it's something. Let's see. So we definitely went the leak. The Bolt's fine. I think because our opponent didn't have an early Lotus Bloom draw, I think what our plan is, I don't think we went the Angel. I think we want to find more counter magic. I think our plan is to just resolve this Geist of Saint Traft and then sit back on counters and just try to attack. We're actually going to hold the Bolt. We could just fire it off, but let me see something. He put a card on top and then bottom. Okay, well. So let's just play the Plains here. And the reason we're holding on to the Bolt is in case we might need it for Laboratory Maniac. Okay, so Lotus Bloom finally entered. So our opponent has a slower Ad Nauseam draw, which is about all we can ask for. Now, it would be great if our opponent had played a Phyrexian. I think it's Phyrexian on life. I probably would have countered that because that just adds so much to the clock. Okay, so our opponent has just had a lot of opportunities to find whatever it is that they need. Bottom, that's good. Okay, so we put some things we didn't want on the bottom. I think we'll just shock, actually. Okay, so our opponent's going to go up to 4 mana. He could just go Ad Nauseam and Simian Spirit. Actually, no, he can't, because he only use one Simian Spirit Guide, but he also needs to cast Away Not to Die. I think we're going to probably remand this Lotus Bloom. It depends on if our opponent keeps making land drops, which I assume he would because he's done so much cantripping. We definitely will remand it. Spoils for... I like how that has the potential to really cut down on cut down on his life if he kind of like that. So going to 10 is nice. So our opponent is now effectively at 1 already. If we draw another burn spell, then okay. So now here comes the Phyrexian Unlife. That's what he was going for. I wish we could have countered that, but what can you do? We have potential to draw like there is a chance that we draw see, Lotus Bloom still has one more on it. Yeah. So this next attack is going to put our opponent to 0. There's no sense in bolting him, but nothing tramples over. Thoughtseize isn't... Well, actually, let's see. I think we want to fire this bolt off. So we'll bolt our opponent down to 1. The Thoughtseize will then... He'll go to 0 life, basically. Yeah, so if we wait, if Thoughtseize resolves and he goes to 2 life and we Lightning Bolt him, then Lightning Bolt is basically just going to do 2. I'm just going to go ahead and fire this off. This will put him to 1. Thoughtseize is going to either make him go to -1 or just to make him go to 0. Now, let's see. If I Mana Leak the Thoughtseize, I think he just pays for it. And then he takes the remand. If I just so then I effectively lose like both counters. If I just let him Thoughtseize me, then if I remand the Thoughtseize, then he just replays it. But we get to dig 1 more card deeper. But if I remand the Thoughtseize, spend a counter, then I think it's best to just let the Thoughtseize resolve. Yeah, not surprising. Okay, so opponent is at -1. That doesn't really matter actually, because now, but at least see now, this will deal 6 infect basically. So if we can draw a bolt, it's still 9 infect. We got to get him to 10 infect. But the reason it was nice to bolt is at least now our next attack doesn't have to punch through what life total he had left to start dealing infect. The moment we attack, we start dealing infect counters. Our opponent has 3 cards. I don't think it's at all a lot to ask for him to have what he needs to kill us. Snapcaster Mage is not a bad draw. So So we have a leak, but we can't, unfortunately, we can't snap remand and leak, but we can snap bolt and hold up leak. So we have that. All right, so opponent goes to excuse me. Our opponent is going to go to 6 infect. So we have some choices, like we can snap remand. That's interesting that he would. I don't think it actually really changes the clock much, so this will put him at 2 infect, and so let's see. He was dead next turn. He was dead next turn anyway, so this is going to put him at 2 infect. 6 more will put him at 6, 7, 8, 9, but we have a bolt and a snap. So, I mean, we're not going to fight over this, but we still have kind of a decision to make on do we... I kind of feel like we let the Lotus Bloom resolve. I feel like we don't fight over that. Let me think. Our opponent didn't want us to have a remand. Thing is, our opponent has 2 cards. So he stacked this first. So let's see. He's going to have to pay for that. Which, if he was going to go off, I guess that means he's not going off this turn. This makes me more inclined to actually just snap remand the Lotus Bloom. But let's see. If we go Snapcaster Mage, remand the Lotus Bloom. If he cast a Pact of Negation on any of those things, then he can go off with Ad Nauseam because he has Phyrexian Unlife in play. So I think actually I let this resolve as much as I don't want to. And next turn I should be able to, let's see, kill him with a lightning bolt. Actually, let's see here. The other thing, I think I just snap, let's see. Snapcaster Mage Bolt puts him at 5 infect. We lose our remand, but right now he's going to go to 8 infect, and then Snapcaster Mage Bolt kills him. But then we just have leak anyway. So his hand has to be, for him to win, his hand has to basically have an Ad Nauseam and a Pact of Negation. Basically, if we cast Snapcaster Mage, just the snap is dead, but we might as well flash back this bolt anyway. Then we have mana leak, so if he has Pact of Negation, we're dead. If we untap, attack him down to 8 infect, a snap bolt will kill him, but he could still easily have this Pact of Negation and go off in response. But I feel like if he had everything he needed, he wouldn't have paid for that. He wouldn't have wasted the mana on that, he wouldn't have spent his mana the way that he did. I'm just going to go for a kill this turn. A snap is enough to do it by itself. I could have also seen what I would have drawn, and then let's see. Then I have enough. But see, then like if I draw another burn spell, I guess it changes things a little. All right, so if he has a counterspell and an Ad Nauseam, okay, so why wouldn't I counter this? We're end of turn. He spoils. If he's gonna, like, now he can't go off because he has. He'd have to have like Simian Spirit Guide, Ad Nauseam. If he has Simian Spirit Guide and Ad Nauseam, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, he casts Ad Nauseam, pays a bunch of life, and wins on the spot. Which, if he casts Spoils, he can lose as much life until he finds whatever he needs, doesn't die, and then probably assuredly goes off. So I think I just counter this. It's possible that it's bait, but I feel like letting him Spoils like almost guarantees my death. Whereas at least this we get to hope that he doesn't have what we don't want him to have in his hand. Because he doesn't have enough mana now to Ad Nauseam. But if he has Ad Nauseam, Simian Spirit Guide, then he does. Which then this could be bait. But I still don't think that him having that lines up with how he's played out his turns. Okay, so he paid for it. He revealed a Pact of Negation. Feeling a little confused. What did he flip over? Oh, well, now he can't win. That's what happened because he exiled Simian Spirit Guide, Simian Spirit Guide, Simian Spirit Guide. So now he can't generate. He's not going to be able to generate all the red mana that he needs to. At least I think that's what happened. He's not going to generate all the red mana that he needs to then cast the Lightning Storm. And then he's going to end up. He probably doesn't have an Angel's Grace in his hand, I guess, and so he's going to have to actually pay for the Pact. At least that's my guess. He also exiled He exiled 2 Ad Nauseams. Actually, so what is this one? So already in exile was. Oh, well, he exiled previously. Okay, no. So yeah, he exiled 2 Ad Nauseams here, and then he revealed. So here he revealed an Ad Nauseam, an Ad Nauseam. Oh, these may have been revealed previously and then exiled, actually. Besiege you, Phyrexian on my Angel's Grace. So he revealed a Pact. So actually, I guess he may have. I guess he was, because he had to crack maybe that. Because he had to crack the thing that he just did, the Mana Rock. Maybe that was how he planned to make red. I don't know. I don't play this deck much, but I know that the fact that there's three Simian Spirit Guides in exile makes his job a little more difficult. There's also 2 Ad Nauseams in exile, which I think makes his job a little more difficult. Did he Spoils earlier this game? I feel like he did. That was that one, actually. I don't know. Maybe one of you guys plays Ad Nauseam and you can better explain to me exactly how all this worked. Either way, I'm glad to have a win. So now I get to start my day riding high on my victory. Guys, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Again, sorry about the long hiatus. This is actually really fun. I enjoy making content. I like making these videos. It makes me think that maybe I could just, find an hour a day and do this more regularly without having the long hiatus. Maybe or maybe I just need to lower my own expectations on how much I want to deliver in my channel. Oh, look at this guy. He's 4-0. A-Wolf196. I played him, I think, in the last league. I'm trying to remember what he was playing, but I don't know. I've sold out of some of my Magic Online stuff. I don't have as many decks as I did. Some things I kind of want to try that I might record some videos for. So what I got rid of Tron. I got rid of most of my Grixis stuff. So I threw this together, and then actually I threw this together to play with my friend Greg. And Greg, if you're watching, sorry about that. It was just really kind of brutal, the Blood Moons and then blowing up lands and everything. And then actually I saw that on the premium side of Star City Games, Sean McLaren posted a similar list, which actually had more Goblin Dark Dwellers, I think, and it had like Boom Bust. It was way heavier on the land destruction plan, which seems kind of cool. This is still kind of in the middle, right? Like, this was still like, okay, we're going to be like a resto value wall Blade Splicer deck, but we're also going to have main deck Blood Moons to maybe just shut you down. I think that other deck was just way more in on Nahiri and land destruction, so maybe I'll give that a try. That might just be better than this because it's more focused. I played against Paco El Flaco, who I've played in the past. I believe at one point in time he was on like the Geist deck. He was playing this deck. I looked him up on Magic, on MTG Goldfish, and got his list. I think this deck seems totally awesome. I've always sort of been a big fan of of Esper because you get you get Lingering Souls, which is just awesome. But you also get like Tasigur and Gurmags. You get hand disruption, you get card selection, you get a bunch of awesome sideboard cards. So I've always felt like Esper's actually, the main thing it doesn't have obviously is the really cheap efficient removal and reach, but I've always thought there's probably been a way to like construct a deck around Esper that doesn't need it. I built like an Esper or a Geist Tasigur list a while back that tried to sort of kind of take advantage of discard spells into really awesome threat like Tasigur or Geist, and then also could punch either of them through using a land. I forget the name. It's not Shinka the Blood-Soaked Keep. It was. Can I just type fear and have something come up? Maybe I don't have the land anymore because I've sold so many different things. I'm just rambling now. Hope you guys don't mind. It is a legendary land. No, I don't have it, but I could get it. Anyway, it's a black land that basically says the target legendary creature will get fear. So that means like only black creatures can block Tasigur or Geist. So kind of cool. And then Thoughtscour has nice synergy with Lingering Souls in addition to the Delve creatures. So I like that. Anyway, cool deck. I'm actually slowly working my way with this deck through a friendly league. Let's see, I've played in one match. I lost. And in time I've played one match, I'm on my 4th competitive league with the Geist deck. I know I'm a broken record, guys. it's not that I think that the Geist deck is better than this deck. I do think that the Geist deck has some things that it's better at. I was just tweeting to Curtis. I always joke with him, play the Geist deck. I don't always, but I have, and he never does. Curtis, probably not watching this. But anyway, I think the Geist deck is better against Ad Nauseam. The Geist deck is better against Tron. The Geist deck is better against Burn. And of course you can bring some Geists in the side. But the other reason the Geist is sometimes better at things is you just have more creatures. You're just a much more proactive deck overall. You're less all in on Geist, and they're as much as they are all in on Nahiri. You have your Geist, you have your Restoration Angels, all all that stuff. So, and I just enjoy playing it more. You know, I'm like 4-0 right now against the last times I've played against the Nahiri deck. Like twice against that deck, I've beat them with Geist. And Geist has just been really great against Nahiri. It's kind of interesting because, like, even when they're on the play, like, sometimes you can, like, I've gone, like, Vendilion Click at the, you know, I've had 3 lands in play. At their end step, went Vendilion Click, it resolved, they bolted it in response. I looked at their hand and I saw, like, a Mana Leak or Remand and, like, 2 Nahiris. So I took their counterspell, untapped, and played Geist. Then their turn came and they're like, well, I don't know what to do. I guess I'll just play this Nahiri, and I'm assuming they know it's going to die to Geist, but they play the Nahiri, they plus it, and they look for an answer, and then I attack Nahiri one time with Geist and totally kill it, and then I still have a Geist on the board. And then even the other times that I didn't win with Geist, I eventually just won with, like, resto beats and just deploying a bunch of threats and, you know, using, like, Dispel and Negate to counter their removal and really make them find answers and keep pressuring them, and that's been pretty good. So, yeah, so other decks I have, what is this, Jeskai Black, I don't know where I saw this, maybe I think I grabbed this online somewhere, or maybe I threw it together, I don't remember. Crackling Doom is interesting, but Crackling Doom in and of itself is probably not a reason enough not to just play like Jeskai Nahiri. Maybe in certain metas it would be. I still miss casting this spell. And then obviously I still have this Resto Kiki mid-range deck. Haven't really been playing with it too much. There's a lot of aggressive decks in the format, though. It might be pretty reasonable. But I just can't help myself. I want to keep geisting people. Oh, I still have, of course, Blue Moon. And then I have Esper Drago, which super fun deck. I know that the guys over on MTG Salvation do a lot of work on it. I feel like the meta is probably way too aggressive for it, although somebody did just 5-0 with an Esper control list on Magic Online. I don't even think they had White Sun Zenith. I think maybe they had Secure the Wastes. Anyway, guys, that's enough rambling. I will see you guys tomorrow for round 4. We're actually doing pretty good, 3-0 in the league. I would be so happy if we could 5-0 together. The first time I 5-0'd in a competitive league, because I've had a couple of 4-1s, but I keep missing the 5-0. And actually, I know I said this in the beginning of the video, but a lot of times I feel like I'm just punting. I'm making mistakes because, you know, like, I play a bunch of Magic Online, and so I'm like, you know, it's not like when I sit down at a tournament and I'm like really focused. I'm just like, oh, let's play the games, and sometimes I just start playing fast and loose, and I'll do something and I'm like, that was really stupid. Why'd you do that? You know, like, I activate Grim Lavamancer on one of their creatures when they have a Pendelhaven up, and it's like, it doesn't do anything, and you know, now I'm almost feel like I'm forced to pick a fight then, which I don't want to do, and so anywho, alright, guys, thanks a lot. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys are enjoying the Geist vids, and I'll see you tomorrow, round 4. Draw well, smash face. Bye.